Never trust a friend who is silent. A life lesson. In life, relationships are the mirrors through which we learn about trust, loyalty, and human nature. Among these, friendship stands out as one of the most sacred bonds built on communication, honesty, and mutual support. But what happens when a friend chooses silence in moments that demand presence, truth, or defense? Silence in the wrong context speaks volumes. It can signal betrayal, indifference, or hidden resentment. A friend who is silent when you're hurting, when you're being wronged, or when you need their voice isn't neutral. They've made a choice. This life lesson teaches us to be mindful of the quiet ones, not those who are introverted or reserved, but those who stay conveniently silent in moments that reveal true character. True friends don't disappear when it's uncomfortable to speak. They stand up, speak out, and show up. Silence in this case isn't golden, it's a red flag. Silence is a choice and it speaks loudly. 700 words. Life teaches us many things, but one of the most painful and eye-opening lessons comes from the silence of those we once called friends. We often think of betrayal as action, something someone does to hurt us, but betrayal doesn't always show up in loud arguments or dramatic exits. Sometimes it whispers through silence, when someone chooses not to stand up for you, not to speak the truth when it matters, not to defend your name when you're not in the room. That silence is a decision, and that decision speaks volumes. Silence is not always innocence. In many cases, it's alignment. When a friend is silent while others mock you, lie about you, or abandon you, that friend has made a choice. They've chosen comfort over courage, neutrality over loyalty, self-preservation over connection, and while they may justify it as not wanting to get involved, their silence is involvement. It's a passive permission slip to the wrong happening right in front of them. Think about this. If someone hurts you and your friend says nothing, they're not just staying quiet, they're silently siding with the wrong. That silence can cut deeper than the original wound because you expected more. You expected support, protection, and truth. And what you got instead was absence. An absence that leaves you questioning the authenticity of everything that came before. We live in a world that often praises silence. Stay in your lane, mind your business, don't rock the boat. But when someone you love is drowning, staying on the shore doesn't make you neutral, it makes you a bystander. True friendship is not silent. It is active, engaged, and present, especially in difficult moments. There are times when someone's silence hurts more than 1,000 words. Why? Because silence from a stranger doesn't surprise us. But silence from a friend feels like betrayal wearing a quiet mask. And it's in those moments that you learn loyalty isn't shown in the good times, it's proven in the storm. And here's the truth. Not everyone who smiles with you is for you. Some people only walk with you when it's convenient, when it costs nothing, when they can benefit from your light. But the moment standing with you requires risk, discomfort, or conflict, they shrink into silence. That's when you realize silence is never just silence. It's a message, it's a mirror, and it's a moment of clarity. The good news, these silent moments are blessings in disguise. They reveal who's really with you and who was only around you. They clean your circle. They sharpen your discernment. They push you to stop placing loyalty in the wrong people and start building stronger boundaries. As painful as it is, don't ignore what silence shows you. If someone repeatedly goes quiet in moments that matter to you, it's time to stop giving them front row seats in your life. Stop excusing their lack of voice as personality. Stop pretending it's okay to be invisible in their loyalty while you were loud in your support. Because you deserve friends who speak up, who defend you, who check on you, who aren't afraid to lose others in order to stand beside you. That kind of loyalty isn't loud, but it is present. And it shows up in actions, words, and the courage to speak when silence would be easier. So if you've been hurt by someone's silence, don't let it make you bitter, let it make you wiser. Let it teach you to value alignment over attachment. Let it strengthen your voice, and most importantly, let it remind you that your peace begins where their silence ends. In this life, silence is powerful, but so is your ability to walk away from the people who stay quiet when they should have stood up. Remember, silence is a choice and it speaks loudly. Make sure you're listening. Real friends defend you, even in rooms you're not in. One of the deepest forms of love and loyalty is what people do for you when you're not watching. It's easy to smile in your face, to laugh with you, to call you friend. when things are smooth and convenient. But the real test of friendship happens when you're not in the room, when your name comes up in a conversation, when someone questions your character, or when others speak on you with disrespect. Real friends show their loyalty when you're absent. They defend your name, your integrity, your truth, not because you're perfect, but because they respect the bond you share. They understand that friendship isn't just about presence, it's about representation. And the most honorable friends are the ones who carry your name with care even when you're nowhere around to see it. Think about it. How many people are in your life right now who say they care about you, but stay silent when others talk behind your back? How many of them sit in circles that mock you, question your motives, or misinterpret your heart and never say a word? That's not friendship. That's convenience. That's comfort. That's fear disguised as neutrality. But real friends, they interrupt disrespect. They shut down gossip. They correct false narratives. They speak up when silence would be easier. They don't laugh when others throw shade at you. They check the room. Because a real friend understands that silence in the face of disloyalty is agreement. There's no such thing as staying out of it. When your friend's name is being dragged, if you say nothing, you're letting the lie live. If you don't correct it, you're allowing it. And if you choose comfort over character, you're choosing your own safety over the friendship. A real friend doesn't need you to be in the room to protect you. They don't wait for you to find out what was said. They don't come running later with "guess what I heard." They shut it down at the moment it happens. They make it known you don't get to speak on my friend like that. That kind of loyalty is rare, but it's powerful. Because when someone defends you in your absence, it shows they value your presence. When they cover your name like it's their own, it means they see you as family. That's not just friendship, that's character, that's integrity in action, and it works both ways. You must ask yourself, do you defend your friends in rooms they're not in? Do you honor their name like you would want yours honored? Or do you let the noise pass, thinking, it's not my business, because it is? Loyalty is a two-way street, and real friendship is a shield, not just a smile. Sometimes we think being a good friend means being there for the celebrations, the wins, the hangouts. But true friendship is revealed in the uncomfortable moments, the awkward conversations, the tense atmospheres where standing up for someone might cost you something. That's where real ones are revealed and fake ones are exposed. If someone isn't willing to lose the room for you, they're not strong enough to walk beside you. Because life will test your friendships. Your name will be misunderstood. You will be lied on. You will be misrepresented. And in those moments, it's not your words that will protect you, it's the ones who speak up on your behalf. So here's the truth. A friend who defends you when you're not there is more valuable than one who only praises you to your face. A friend who stands up for you behind closed doors is worth more than 10 who post you on birthdays. A friend who checks others, even when it's uncomfortable, is the one you keep close. Remember, real love shows up in silence. Real loyalty speaks in secret, and real friends don't wait for the applause, they act when no one's watching. So, protect your circle. Watch who's clapping for you in public but quiet when your character is questioned. Value the ones who correct false stories. Celebrate the ones who carry your name with honor. Because in a world full of silence and shadows, real friends defend you, even in rooms you're not in. Their silence in your struggle is their loudest betrayal. There is a unique kind of pain that comes not from enemies, but from the people you thought would stand beside you and didn't. When life hits hard, when the weight feels too heavy, when you're hurting, breaking, or barely holding it together, you look around, hoping to find the ones you called friends. But sometimes all you find is silence. And in that silence, you learn something unforgettable. Their silence in your struggle is their loudest betrayal. We often prepare ourselves for rejection, criticism, or even abandonment. But rarely do we expect silence, the kind that comes when you cry out and no one answers, when your world is falling apart and the people you once uplifted go missing. That kind of silence is piercing. It doesn't just echo in the room, it echoes in your heart. Because when you were up, they clapped. When you were shining, they stood close. But when you were sinking, they watched and said nothing. That's not friendship, that's convenience. And that's the kind of betrayal that doesn't need words. Because silence is a message, a decision, a response. And when someone chooses silence in your pain, they're communicating something very loud. You're on your own now. It's in those moments that you realize who's really with you. Struggle has a way of stripping away illusions. It reveals the truth about people not through what they say, but through what they don't. The ones who go quiet when you need them most, they were never rooted deeply in loyalty. They were seasonal, conditional, situational, and it hurts because you expected more. You remember the times you were there for them. You remember the way you showed up, the way you listened, the way you carried their burdens like they were your own. So naturally you assumed they'd do the same, but here's the hard truth. Not everyone has the same heart as you. Not everyone gives what they expect to receive, and not everyone is built to handle your struggle. Some people only know how to celebrate you, not support you. They love the light but run from the storm. They want your joy, not your tears. They don't know how to hold space, only how to take up space. And when you go through something heavy, loss, heartbreak, failure, depression, or a major life shift, their silence becomes deafening. It's not that they didn't see, it's that they didn't care enough to speak, and that's the betrayal. Not that they hurt you actively, but that they let you suffer silently when their voice, their presence, or even a simple check-in could have made all the difference. Real friends don't disappear in difficulty. They don't watch you struggle and go mute. They don't avoid your pain because it makes them uncomfortable. Real friends lean in, they reach out, they speak up, they sit with you in the dark even if they don't have the answers, because presence is powerful, words are healing, and silence when it replaces care wounds deeply. So what do you do with this lesson? You grieve it, you process it, but you also let it teach you. You stop begging for loyalty from people who only show up when it's easy. You stop keeping people close just because of shared history. You start evaluating your circle based not on who's around when you're winning, but who shows up when you're weak. And most importantly, you learn to be that kind of friend yourself, the one who speaks when it's hard, the one who stands when others sit still, the one who sends the message, you're not alone in this, because loyalty isn't proven in laughter, it's revealed in silence. It's in the texts you send when someone goes quiet, the phone calls you make when someone disappears, the effort you put in even when it's inconvenient. So the next time someone's silence leaves you aching, remember this: that silence was a gift. It exposed the truth. It showed you who you can trust when the world goes quiet. And moving forward, protect your peace, guard your heart, and surround yourself with people whose love is loud when life gets hard. Because when someone goes silent during your struggle, it's not just absence, it's betrayal, and it's the loudest one you'll ever hear. Loyalty isn't quiet, it has a voice, loyalty. A word we all value, expect, and often assume until life tests it. We grow up hearing that loyalty is about sticking by someone's side, about standing the test of time, about never switching up. And while that's true, what most people don't realize is this: loyalty isn't silent, it's not passive. Loyalty isn't something you just feel, it's something you express. Loyalty has a voice. It speaks up when you're being disrespected. It steps in when someone twists your story. It corrects lies in rooms you're not in. It interrupts gossip, shuts down hate, and protects your name even when you're not around to hear it. The truth is, too many people think they're loyal just because they didn't participate in the betrayal. But not joining the attack isn't the same as defending the person. If you say you love someone but remain silent while others tear them down, that's not loyalty. That's cowardice dressed as neutrality. Loyalty doesn't sit quietly when it's uncomfortable. It doesn't look away when truth is on the line. It doesn't stay silent just to avoid conflict. No, real loyalty is courageous. It's uncomfortable. It risks awkwardness, tension, and sometimes even relationships, because defending what's right means more than being liked. Let's be clear. Anyone can stand by you when it's convenient. Anyone can cheer you on when things are going well, but it's in the moments of tension, confusion, and crisis that loyalty is tested. That's when the quiet ones either speak or show you they were never really with you. And listen, this isn't about demanding perfection from people. It's about paying attention to patterns, who stands up for you, who checks others when your name is involved, who uses their voice to back their so-called loyalty. Because silence in critical moments isn't just disappointing, it's revealing. It shows you who's with you for real and who's just around you. It teaches you that some people like benefits of your friendship but aren't willing to protect it. And that's when you have to decide, are you going to keep mistaking silence for support? Let's flip the lens to what kind of friend are you? Because real loyalty isn't just what you expect, it's what you practice. Do you speak up when your friend's name is under attack? Do you check someone when they say something off? Do you hold your people down even when it's unpopular to do so? If not, it's time to raise the standard because your silence may be hurting someone more than you think. Being a loyal friend, partner, or family member means being loud when it counts. It means saying, don't talk about them like that. It means stepping in even when they'll never know. It means sending a message without apology. This is someone I care about, and I will protect their name like I would protect my own. That kind of loyalty builds unshakable bonds. It creates safe spaces. It lets people know, I'm not just here for the good times. I've got your back in the shadows, too. And when you give that kind of loyalty, you begin to attract it, too. You draw in people who match your energy, people who speak your name with honor, people who will defend you loudly and unapologetically just like you would for them. So the next time someone claims to be loyal but stays silent when it matters, pay attention. Loyalty isn't just a feeling, it's a voice, it's an action, it's a presence when others fall quiet. Don't be fooled by the people who stay close but never stand up, and don't be afraid to walk away from those who can't speak on your name with truth and protection. Because when it comes to real love, real friendship, real connection, loyalty isn't quiet. It speaks, it defends, it roars, and anything less is just convenience wearing a mask. In crucial moments, absence is a form of action. In life, not every betrayal is loud. Not every disappointment comes with harsh words or clear rejection. Sometimes the deepest wounds come from silence, from absence, from the people who were supposed to show up and didn't. It's easy to say you care about someone when nothing is being asked of you. It's easy to call someone your friend when there's no pressure, no cost, no risk involved. But what happens when life shifts, when someone is hurting, when the moment is crucial and your presence could make a difference? That's when the truth comes out. Because in crucial moments, absence isn't just absence, it's a decision. It's a form of action. We often excuse people's absence by saying, maybe they didn't know what to do, or they're just busy, or they didn't want to get involved. But let's be honest, when someone matters to you, you show up. Maybe not perfectly, maybe not with all the answers, but you show up with presence, with effort, with something. Because doing nothing when everything matters is a choice. And that choice sends a message, you're not my priority. That may not be what they say, but it's what their actions communicate. And actions are always louder than intentions. When you're going through something painful, a loss, a betrayal, a mental health crisis, or even a moment of celebration that's deeply meaningful and someone chooses not to be there, it stings because in that moment all the past conversations, the shared laughs, the I've got your back promises suddenly lose their meaning. And here's what we don't talk about enough. Absence creates wounds. Not because people are supposed to be perfect, but because some moments matter more than others. Some moments require presence. And when someone is absent in those moments, it doesn't just feel like neglect, it feels like abandonment. Think about it. When the pressure is on, when you need support, when you're vulnerable and someone chooses not to show up, that is a statement. It might be silent, but it's still a statement. And it forces you to see the relationship for what it truly is, not what you hoped it would be. Now let's be clear, everyone has their limits. People get overwhelmed. People have their own struggles. But there's a difference between not being able to be there and choosing not to be there. There's a difference between absence from circumstance and absence from convenience. Sometimes people stay away because they don't want to deal with the weight of your reality. They don't want to face your pain, your mess, your truth because it disrupts their comfort, and so they distance themselves, they go quiet, they disappear, and in doing so, they choose themselves over the relationship. That's not friendship, that's not love, that's self-preservation at the cost of connection. And if someone can't stand beside you when it's inconvenient, they don't deserve access to you when it's easy. The beauty of life's hardest moments is that they reveal everything. They expose the fragile connections, the half-hearted relationships, the performative loyalty. They clear the fog, and they help you understand this powerful truth. Presence is love. Absence is a message, and in crucial moments, silence is action. So what do you do when you experience that absence? You take the lesson, not the bitterness. You stop begging people to care. You stop explaining your worth to those who already made a choice. You start tightening your circle, not from hate but from clarity. And most importantly, you learn to be the kind of person who does show up. Because presence heals, attention matters, and your presence in someone's hardest hour might be the lifeline they never forget. Let this be your standard going forward. Surround yourself with people who show up not just when it's fun, but when it's real. People who lean in when others back away. People who don't run from your brokenness. People who don't ghost you when life gets uncomfortable. Because when it counts the most, absence is not neutral, it's revealing. And you deserve to be surrounded by voices, hands, and hearts that choose you in the moments that define everything. So pay attention. Watch how people move when you're in need. Because in the end, who showed up and who didn't says more than words ever could.